Goodrich, Boyne County Prosecutor.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. James Gilbert here on behalf of Ms. Shiflett.
All right, did you get a chance to review the report and recommendations with Ms. Shiflett?
Yes, Ms. Shiflett and I did go through the report and recommendations. I don't see any scoring challenges or corrections.
Okay, Ms. Goodrich, any additions, corrections, or scoring challenges?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Agent Fagan, I did have a request on the copy that I got on page 1 of the CFJ 145. It did not reflect the habitual offender fourth, and it reflected a 10-year maximum. You can change that to the habitual fourth with the life maximum. The guideline scoring did take into account that the 5 to 46 has the habitual, but the SIR does have a statutory max of 120. If you could change that to life as well, or I will on the SIR. Okay, Mr. Gilbert, anything you want to say on behalf of you?
Your Honor, I have had conversations with Ms. Shiflett. Kind of interesting fact, there was another person that was just sentenced into the recovery court with a very similar name. And Ms. Shiflett and I were going through a PSI, and we were almost 45 minutes into it when she told me that, oh, they have me down as I'm 24, and we found out we were going through the wrong one. So we know for a fact that we went through the PSI very thoroughly, at least twice. And in that time period, we discussed how much prison time my client's looking at if this is not successful. And she's repeatedly told me she wants to commit to the recovery court. She wants to, even though she's had some hiccups, she wants to do her best at it, and then she feels she needs it. And the reason for her desire for recovery court is not to avoid a prison stint or a lengthy jail stint. It's to get sober. And so I would ask the court to sentence her to the recovery court program. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Shiflett, you don't have to say anything today, but it is allowed. Is there anything you want to tell?
Yeah, my son had asked me to write a 2-page letter, just saying why I'm here, and why my relapse happened. So I did that. Like, I've taken the last 5 weeks and just reflected on everything. But I realized first page and a half just kind of were excuses. It was, when I was at Harbor Hall, I was doing very well. But while I was there, I started realizing the relapse behaviors in me, and I knew the things to do. I just didn't do them when I came home and I relapsed. So I really would rather not read this. I thought maybe I'd read it to you, Nicole, maybe tomorrow or something, but I would like to read this. It says, I stopped writing that letter last week because I realized that I was blaming everything on my relapse, when in all actuality, the truth is I relapsed because of me. I knew a lot of coping skills and things to do to not use, yet I just didn't apply them. I've been thinking a lot, and I realized that I really don't know why I used that day. I don't know if I thought I could do it just one more time, if I truly was doing it in the house, or if I thought I could just get away with it. I really don't know what I was thinking, honestly, but I do know that I'm absolutely positively 100% ready for a change in my life, changing me. I'm tired of life and the lies I was living. And I realize that I can't do this on my own. I need help. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to gain the life that I know that God has created me to live. I want to apologize for, I want to apologize from the very bottom of my heart to the courts and to my family, to my support system, and to myself. I know that I can do better, and I want to thank the courts, my families, my support systems for taking yet another chance on me, and I promise you all I can. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ms. Goodrich, any recommendations from the people?
I'm in agreement with the recommendation for recovery court.
All right, thank you. Ms. Shiflett, please stand for the sentence. Ms. Shiflett, as a recovery court, we've been getting much more involved with this family unit than I would have ever thought. But your son graduated the program. Your ex was in the program doing well before his untimely death. And your daughter and you are entering the program at the same time. But what you need to know is, I don't view it as the Shiflett family in the recovery court. It's individual people in the recovery court. And each one of you is going to have to make your own path. Okay? Each person's recovery journey may look different. You've had a significant amount of trauma in your life that I'm not going to rehash here with you today and make it difficult for you. You've had significant substance abuse issues in your life. Some of those things have led you to, I guess, not appreciating your own worth enough so that you attach yourself to some really toxic dudes. I'm aware of a guy that you brought up into the community years ago because we ended up having a case here, and he's in prison for life on a murder armed robbery after he committed an armed robbery in our community. I'm also aware that once we started you in this program, there's a violent offender in Emmett County that you wanted to come over here into our county. I have to make a finding today that you're not a dangerous person to our community. You're not dangerous, but you tend to attract dangerous people. And I need you to know, I am not going to allow you to make Sheboygan County a more dangerous place by bringing in some of these guys who are very bad news. That is not going to happen. And that wouldn't just make our community more dangerous. It'd make it impossible for you to really have recovery.
Just, you know, the last guy is not a thing anymore.
Okay.
It's just, you know,
Well, I know it's not because I'm not going to allow it.
I know.
Violate. I mean,
I know.
we're done with that.
I'm taking the last 5 weeks and really thought a lot about that.
All right. So, I mean, I think you are capable of completing this program, and we all want you to. I hope that you will do that. You know, we don't like to use jail as our first response to violations. We did that here for this violation in between because you were on bond, just to really impress upon you how serious your situation was. And also because of, I think, as I told you when I revoked your bond, some of your history, I think, of just being able to, I think you've developed some survival skills that make it pretty easy for you to try to manipulate and to lie and to be on the edges of things. You're going to get away with that a little bit with us if you try. We're not going to catch every lie, but you're going to spend 2 years with us. So I'm not overconfident that we can't be fooled, but I'm confident enough in what we're doing that you're not going to fool the whole team for 2 whole years. So you need to commit yourself to taking an honest approach.
I truly do want to life and change.
All right, well, we're going to give you that shot to do that. And I do have to make some findings under the law, which I think are appropriate based on the pre-sentence report and the information available to me in that report and in the assessment that we did. I find that Ms. Shiflett is or was dependent on or abusing drugs or alcohol, and she's an appropriate candidate for participation in our treatment court program, that she understands the consequences of entering that program and has agreed to comply with its requirements. I find that Ms. Shiflett is not a violent offender, and further, that she's not an unwarranted or substantial risk to the safety of the public or any individual. For that reason, I do think that the probationary recovery court sentence is appropriate in this case. So I'm going to place you on probation for 30 months, subject to the terms and conditions listed on pages 2 and 3. I want to highlight some of those for you. There's a crime victims assessment of $130, court cost of $350, state cost of $68, a drug court participation fee of $600, and supervision fee to the Department of Corrections. You also have to participate in and successfully complete the 53rd Circuit Recovery Court program. And I'll order that you serve 169 days jail. Give you credit for 169 days previously served so that you can be released. Hopefully we'll get that paperwork done today. Sometimes on a busy Tuesday that might not happen, so you might have one more overnight and get released out tomorrow. If that's true, we'll bring you out for recovery court in the morning. If you do get out tonight, show up for recovery court in the morning. Okay.
Yeah.
You may file an appeal if you wish by filing an application to the Court of Appeals. If you wanted a lawyer, I'd give you one. You'd have to ask me within 6 months. So we're going to hand you that paperwork. You can fill it out if you want to take an appeal. One copy, we're going to ask you to initial this. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you so much. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
All right, good luck. To the extent this is a departure from this rattle cell, there's reasonable grounds for this treatment for option.